So listening, pay attention.
Oh, yeah.
You're looking for capitals?
At Pimlico School, South London, teaching consultant John Bayley spending a week helping staff improve their teaching. Most of his work is with people who need help, but sometimes he comes across a teacher who has something to teach him. Amy Alexander's from Queensland in Australia and has been teaching science for 5 years, the last 2 in Pimlico. This morning she has Year 7, just 3 weeks into their first term at secondary school. Amy believes the key to a successful lesson is being totally prepared from the start.
Just move back away from the door, please.
I like to be organised. I mean, with a school like this where there's behaviour challenges, you need to be free to manage behaviour at all times. You can't have your back turned and still be writing on the board.
So we're in an early foundation period with this class, but they know to come into the class, get their books out, get settled down, take note of what the first task is.
That was a nightmare with the books. They're just getting used to that. They've been here only 3 weeks, so they're still getting trained.
Anyone who doesn't have a textbook, raise your hand. Thanks, Evelyn. Put your hand down. Grace, take a seat. Come and grab them. You've got 1 minute. Quickly. Okay, you need to remember to get them on the way in. All right, hands up. Who can tell me what number 2 is? Who can tell me what number 2 is for today? You've copied the date, copied the title and the aim. Massey, thank you for raising your hand. Excellent.
Write a meaning for renewable energy resources.
Very well read. Thank you very much. Fantastic.
You're doing a terrific amount of reinforcement and encouragement. First of all, you're out there in the corridor or by the door and you're pleased to see them, as well as giving them their first set of instructions when they come in.
Pretending to be pleased to see them. No, just kidding. Yeah, I am pleased,
yeah. But they, actually, I don't believe you. You look as though you are.
Yeah, no, I am.
You like them, don't you?
Yeah, definitely.
You're also using that scaffolding of putting up the names of children who are doing the right thing, to which they seem to respond very well. Do you expect to do that through the year, or is it an establishment phase kind of thing?
I keep that up through the whole year. There's a constant reward system in the school, whereas they're getting merits. The use of the day book, where you've got to mention the positive students and the negative students and the action taken. So every lesson that needs to be recorded in the day book. So you need to maintain that. It's a way for me to just easily see, okay, this is who did a good job today. This is who needed, some reminders about the expectations. Plus, we've got the star charts.
What is coal made from? Yeah.
Remains of dead plants.
Remains of dead plants. Can everyone just give that answer a round of applause, please? The remains of dead plants. You can come and give yourself an extra star on the star chart for that fantastic answer. You can come up now.
Every 10 stars that a student gets, they get a postcard sent home. That's what I use. And then if a student attains 50 stars throughout the year, then they'll be invited to go on the school trip for science. If they don't get 50 stars, they're not invited.
And natural gas made from?
I've changed my teaching style completely since coming to Pimlico. It's been such a challenge, and my teaching is totally different. And these kids respond so well to praise.
Excellent, Jade. Thank you, Kelly. Excellent.
I think at home they're being told, a lot of these kids, how terrible they are, and oh, that's terrible, you've done that bad, and they just switch off immediately, or it creates a tense environment which they're used to living in, especially being in inner city London. It's a tense place to live, and they're used to tension. If you can turn that down, calm them down, and tell them how wonderful they are, that's all any kid needs, is it really? Like the psychology behind it, they just want to feel comfortable and that things are okay, have that basic need of security met.
Excellent work, everyone. Fantastic.
Thanks for raising your hand, Grace. Yeah.
John's struck by Amy's unusual colour-coded lesson plan.
Yes, please. That's your keyword. The keyword's in green. Grace has asked about copying down the green word. All the keywords go in green, always. Please write down.
Why are the keywords written in green? Why have you got work on the board in different colours?
Okay, I've only been doing that for a couple of months, just before summer break. If you break it down into colours, then they know exactly what to do. So every lesson I'm doing the exact same thing. Green is the keywords, black is the work that they have to write down in their books, they copy. Blue is an instruction, do what it says, don't write it down, do what it says. And red is just other information, homework or anything. And they get used to that and it becomes easier. And I always start off with the easy things first. Everyone can write the date, title and aims. It's copying. My 5-year-old sister can do that. It doesn't matter what ability you are. Everyone can copy off the board. Takes some kids longer, of course, but that's okay. So the kids who are extended or extension kids who get through the first task quickly can move on to the extension work. They're not held up. And I find with Key Stage 3 mixed ability classes, I have to do it that way. It's the only way I can manage.
Where will I find the meanings for the key words, Jay?
Glossary.
In the glossary, excellent. Where do I find the glossary? Latif?
At the back pages
Of what?
of the book.
Very good, excellent. At the very back pages of the book, of your textbooks. Okay, got another minute?
Let's just crack on to the quiz, because I'd like you to talk me through the quiz and what's happening there.
All right, back of the book, 10 quick questions on your own. They're going to be energy questions because that's what we're learning about, to see how much you can remember from our last few lessons. All right, each question once and once only, so listening, pay attention. Excellent, Abdul, thank you. All right, question number 1. Name the 5 action energy types, and I'll give you a clue on the board. If you have a look up here if you can't remember. You should know it very well if you've already done this. Done it lots of times, so everyone should know it good. Abdul knows it. Doing a great job, everyone. Fantastic. Excellent listening. Excellent answers. Wonderful. Name the 3 fossil fuels. Name the 3 fossil fuels. If you're not sure, that's okay. Okay, you've learnt something if you don't know the answer because you know that that's something you still need to work on learning. It's good if you get them wrong.
I see 3 levels of reinforcement going on. Sometimes you tell them all. You say, I really appreciate this lesson today. This is a great listening silence. Or you're all talking and working nicely. So as a group, they can all swell with pride. And then a really good answer, you'll encourage a burst of applause from the rest of the children. Secondly, you might praise individuals for their work. So it's either good answer, John, or good job, or I appreciate the fact that you're sitting quietly, whatever it might be.
Well done, Jason. Brilliant. You're on to that. Remember
And then
those.
you also have a pretty intimate mode too, don't you? Sometimes you'll come up really quiet to a child and saying, in a very low voice, I'd like to see what you're doing here, well done, and so on.
Okay, your work looks lovely. It's fantastic.
Where did you learn it?
I've just learnt it from being here at Pimlico.
Evelyn, is this your seat? Go and move. No, go and move to your seat.
These kids really challenged me when I first came here, and using praise one time, and you could see the difference it made in the kids, and just keep experimenting with that and taking it further and further until it's become everything that the kids know about me. That's my teaching style now.
Windmills, excellent. Good on you, Dane. Thanks for having your hand up for so long. Excellent, you're so patient. Fantastic. All right, everyone turn.
I taught for 2 years in Australia. Kids just behaved better. But here, I've had to use that praise system for just the simplest things like coming into the room, sitting down, all of those behaviours, whereas at home I would never have congratulated a kid for that. But I have to here in order to get them to learn.
Thank you, Lily. Lovely.
So that's praise for convergent behaviours. Then there's encouragement for divergent behaviours, like I produce a new idea. And instead of saying, clever boy, John, what a nice new idea, you say, that's great, you're using your imagination. Can you apply your imagination to this?
If a kid gives an answer that's not straightforward, and it's a different answer, they've used their imagination, they're thinking outside the square, that's a skill that needs to be encouraged, of course. It's like a higher order thinking process, isn't it?
All right, some people have already finished reading page 106 and 107. That's fantastic. If you're not, if you're not quite as fast at reading, that's fine. Take more time. We've still got plenty of time yet. Read over it carefully. If you have finished, you can move on to number 5. It's on the board. No. Oh, what are you doing?
I need to go back this and do it again.
That's fine. That's an excellent answer. All right, the 5 renewable energy resources, please. Hands up. Who found the 5? Jason, please.
Wind turbine.
Wind turbines is 1. Excellent. Tick that if you had wind. That's great. Wind.
By asking them those questions, that gets them back on task. If you've had them reading for a little while, you know, that's something where they're focused on the book, but they lose interest quite quickly. You've got to keep them moving. So if you can draw the attention back again and bring them all together, you've lost a few from the reading task, they're off task, then okay, interrupt the reading, or wait a few minutes, interrupt the reading, ask those questions. Yeah, like you said, you find out what level they're at.
Hydroelectric.
Very well read. Hydroelectric.
Plus, you need to do that because there's kids who have such difficulty that they won't be able to master the next task unless you discuss it as a class first. So the kids who already know what renewable energy resources are can inform the kids who don't know what renewable energy resources are. So for the next task, everyone has some idea, the kids who know, the kids who don't know, about what to do in that next task.
Yeah.
Nuclear energy.
Nuclear energy, interesting. Nuclear, is it renewable or non-renewable? Dane?
I reckon it's non-renewable.
Non-renewable. Why is that? What does non-renewable mean again? Latif?
Because nuclear energy is stored in metals such as uranium.
Excellent. It is stored in uranium. So we use uranium to make nuclear energy. What does that mean? What might happen one day? Jason, you are so fantastic. Super duper scientist. Hand up first every time. I'm going to ask someone else though. Thank you. William.
There'll be no more.
Excellent, William. There's going to be no more metal. One day it's going to run out. So uranium is a non-renewable energy resource. One more. Who knows it? Dane.
Moving water.
That's hydroelectric. Good man. Excellent. You're right. You're absolutely correct. The last one, Saoirse?
Is it biomass?
Biomass is the 5th one.
I'm
Biomass.
still ascertaining the levels of these kids. I've only been teaching them for 3 weeks.
Biomass.
So I'm given Year 6 SATs scores for every student for science, English, maths. I'm given a reading age for each student. And myself, for personal information, I make up a sheet with the kids that's got all about me, and they tell me their favourite colours, favourite foods, favourite music, favourite learning styles, and I offer them a range to choose from. I like videos, I like writing off the board, I like reading, I like ICT, I like drawing. Can determine their needs a lot easier if you know where they come from, where they live, what it's like where they live.
Amy clearly puts a huge amount of time and effort into every lesson. But can she keep it going?
I'm using less energy by focusing on the positive. It encourages me as well, it comes back to me, than focusing on the negative. Yeah, the pace is fast, but no, I use much less energy than I would if it was a noisy, crazy, mad classroom.